I've been in the industry for well over 20 years now. I've worked extensively starting as a clinical research coordinator and then working as a clinical research associate, a CRA. I've been a CRA lead, a manager, a director of clinical operations. I've also run clinical research programs or clinical development programs at the director level. And I've also done quite a bit of auditing throughout the years. Probably the past 5-6 years, I've been doing quite a bit of quality assurance work, working with the FDA, with sponsors, with sites, with CROs, as well as also getting the pleasure of getting to teach some of these classes. So I try to bring in practical examples from things I've seen, things I've heard of, things I've read, things I've been through in audits. So moving into our class today, our objectives. Describe the attributes of a risk management framework for use in outsourced clinical trials. Describe the areas for risk management when partnering with a CRO or clinical vendor. And identify potential risk areas with outsourced trials. Let's jump into what is risk. Obviously, depending on your perspective and what aspects of the trial you're focused on, this is going to differ. So if we're working on trial master files, electronic files that sponsors need to have access to, the risks are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be thinking high level, what's going to be expected in the event of an audit or inspection. You know, are our files complete? Are they easily accessible? Can we get what we need at the touch of a button? Is it clear to us? Is it clear to an inspector or auditor if they were to come in? If you're dealing with, for example, providing a supply chain, you're going to be involved in shipping clinical trial material, and it has to be controlled at very specific materials, very similar to what we're going through with our COVID vaccine now, then the critical aspects of risk there are going to be very different. Again, how is it ordered? How is it shipped? How is it temperature controlled? Who has to handle it? And just making sure that along the way, every step is covered. So the risks are going to be a little bit different depending on our perspective. But risk itself, the basic definition, is the effect of uncertainty on objectives. The concept that something could go wrong. So objectives, being the protocol, business organization, are influenced by internal and external factors. So again, really looking at risk being the fact that something can go wrong. They create uncertainty in achieving these objectives. The effect of this uncertainty is risk. And it's an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, has a positive, sometimes, but more often a negative effect on one or more project objectives, such as scope, schedule, cost, or quality. So when we approach risk, whether it's with our client or our vendors that we're working with, we really have to consider, basically, what are they worried about, and address that. Risk is the chance that a potential event will not go as planned. It could be the enrollment rate. Generally, it's going to be that enrollment is too slow, but on occasion, if enrollment is too fast, what are the risks there? Will supplies be there in time? Is the infrastructure in place to support the tracking of information, the tracking and flow of documentation? Investigational product supply. Is it available? Do people know how to order it? Do they know how to randomize patients correctly? If it requires the mixing of different products, or basically a carrier for the microvirus or whatever it is that we'll be using, do people know how to put them together? Does the excipient have to be controlled at specific temperatures? Does it have to be handled in any specific way once it's then mixed together? How long is it stable? What is the risk that something could go wrong that could either cause harm to individuals or challenges the integrity of the data? We have to make sure that only eligible participants are enrolled. The risk is that CRAs do not understand the protocol. The individuals who are sent out to the sites to oversee the conduct of the study, to help train the sites, to make sure things are going according to plan. A protocol may be so complex that there's just a number of different challenges. The CRAs may be experienced CRAs and not have experience in that therapeutic area. Or the therapeutic area could be so novel and so unique. Could be doing immunosuppressive challenges. And a patient who's been working extensively in oncology may not have done this before. Vendors are not experienced in the therapeutic area themselves. Again, they are experts in what they do, but a therapeutic area and a new protocol may be so unique. So, for example, if we're doing ophthalmology studies, and we work with vendors who generally provide the basic kits of what's needed for a clinical research trial, but they've never had to deal with this unique population of uveitis patients where we have to do very special pH test balances and evaluate whether the eye is dry or not, along with the medication. Maybe they haven't had to provide those materials in the kits. Or maybe when specific test strips are sent back, they haven't had to store them and evaluate them, so they're stored at the wrong temperature from lack of experience.